All right, let's get on to the news before we do weeks.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
Mostly because I want to see this fucking banana with the two girls on the side of it is just killing my soul. Like I like Fortnite, but not this much.
So Epic's gonna lose over $300 million on their Epic Store exclusives, and they don't give a shit. They're cool. They're cool with that.
Yep.
So you remember when we were talking about Amazon and how they don't like the long-term investment. As soon as stuff isn't going right, they just
Dip it,
cancel shit, which we'll talk about later. Epic is pretty much the opposite. They've just got a bonfire of cash, and they're like, whatever, it'll work out.
I will say,
I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was trying to see what year, because they said that there's a year that they were like, we hope to be profitable by this year, which is why, here we go.
2022, I think?
It's like 2027.
Oh, there we go.
So, a lot of information has been coming out since the Apple Epic lawsuit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, I guess Apple got their hands on some Epic records. And just basically reporting that, they basically lost like $300 million on all these exclusives because they're giving these companies a shit ton of money, and they're either not really doing great or whatever because they're on the Epic Store. Basically, Apple is like basically it's all part of the court case, and Apple is using this as like a way to say that the reason they're doing this, that they were fighting them for the store or whatever, is because they're losing money. But Epic's just like, we're fine with spending all that money because eventually we'll be profitable. It's just a lot of money shit. But basically, Epic is like, hey man, we're not like Amazon. We're in it to win it.
But yeah. So like the one thing is that technically, if you look at the trend, I don't think they're on schedule, but they're not wrong though.
Yeah, they're not.
They're constantly moving their losses up to be closer to neutral every year.
Because Epic is a fucking video game company run by people who know how fucking video games work and know how this industry goes. Unlike Amazon, who gives up at the drop of a hat.
I will say,
unlike Google, who gives up at the drop of a hat. No, go ahead.
I will say that, like, reading through the article, essentially, like, a lot of the, like, they planned for the exclusives, quote unquote, to like, whatever, to like pay to developers essentially. Like they basically like upfront them X amount of cash for whatever.
It's a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
I think they actually put a number on it in this article. I think they actually did
444 million in advances to third party devs.
So that's a shit ton of money. Which is why all these companies which is why it was basically an offer you couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
It was so much money. And if Epic is willing to keep doing that for like indie games, fuck yeah. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and like
it's just like free money.
I do think that like this is one of those weird things where like Epic has like they're essentially taking a loss on this, but they're gaining so much just from Fortnite in and of itself that like I view this as like a net positive.
Everything.
Yeah. Because like the devs get more money to deal with, and like all they have to do is keep their shit off of Steam, and it looks like for a year, which is fucking nothing, right?
Right, exactly.
Like most people on Steam don't even buy your game for like a year until it goes on
Hades.
sale. Yeah.
Look, people just basically acted like it didn't exist until it came out on Steam, and then its sales exploded. So they basically got $400 million to just wait for a little while, until like it was nuts.
It just seems like
I think that's great.
And like I don't see, as long as Epic continues to turn a profit, like I don't necessarily see that this is a bad thing,
Right.
And like to be fair, they keep me coming back every week for their free games. You know?
Now I hope Fortnite is the most successful game ever. I hope it just gets all the money.
So, well, the key thing right now is that they're not making a profit.
Yeah.
Well, they're not making a profit on the store itself.
Yeah.
They are making a
They're
profit in
off of
terms
Fortnite.
of in terms of like the company as a whole. So basically, they're subsidizing their losses in the store with Fortnite.
I thought they said they weren't making over. I thought they were making less money than that with Fortnite.
Just on the store itself.
Okay, just on the
Yeah,
gotcha.
because let's see here. Epic said that players spent 700 million on the Epic Store in 2020, but third-party sales accounted for only 265 million. So basically, everyone's spending their money on Fortnite.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But like I said, like if they can keep this up, like I don't see how that's a bad thing. Essentially,
If they can keep it up, because a lot of their stuff was on the was also on the Apple Store. Like a huge chunk of their sales were on Apple's iOS. So since it's not in the store anymore, you know, who knows where that might go. But hopefully, this Fortnite's insane kind of, I don't know, turnarounds, indie funding thing that this has become, I hope that continues.
well, the other thing too that we have to remember is that one, they also just released the Core engine, which is a Fortnite engine.
Oh, that's right. They also do engines.
Yeah, and they also have the Unreal Engine is theirs.
Yeah.
Which
yeah. So
I can't even begin to describe the number of games that shit
right
powers.
Like everybody uses it.
Well, like let's think of like the highest
I think like
Gears
Platinum
of
doesn't
War
for sure, and I think maybe Arxis doesn't, and that's like the only two companies I can think of.
Yeah, it's like everybody runs Unreal. Like Gears of War is an Unreal Engine game. That is
Yeah.
fucking nuts. And it was an Unreal Engine
Yeah.
game like back in the day, you know? So was Quake
Right.
and Doom and like a bunch, I don't know about Doom recently, but like the old ones, super like a ton of stuff. So yeah, fucking Epic is fine. And if they want to keep paying it forward to like smaller devs, I like, even though I don't play Fortnite anymore, like fucking go for it, you know?
100%. I hope Hollow Knight Silksong comes out on the Epic Store. Fuck it.
I think it will, right? That was a rumor.
I'm not sure. I only thing I've heard about is that it might come out the end of this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if it means they'll get free money to then potentially make more DLC and shit for it, you know, do whatever the fuck they want, or just make another game, should they decide to, hell yeah. Please. I'll wait a year
Yeah.
for it to pop up on Steam. Pop up on Steam at a discount, because they'll be so excited about the Steam release, they'll discount it.
I do think it's like, I think it's good as a whole if it's sustainable, right?
Yeah, right.
And I do think that out of everyone here, Epic has the power to do it because they have not just Fortnite but also the engine stuff too.
Yeah, yeah. And we gotta realize Fortnite can't last forever the way it is. Like, the next fad will come along and then suck away all these people. You know?
Yeah. Hopefully they can adapt or make a new game or something that works.
Yeah.
But you know,
Like I said,
They've been going strong, but
the core engine release that just got released. Essentially, it is
Yeah.
like Fortnite's engine, but like, I think that's like cool. Like, I also think that will give them, like, maybe they'll be able to like buy up a studio and be like, hey, this game that you're making is sick. We want to fund it. You know?
right.
yeah.
So like, I don't necessarily want specific companies to like own the video game industry, but as far as like this is concerned, I think this is fine.
Yeah. Epic does cool as shit when they're not being fucking greedy scumbags.
Well, that could be like literally any company ever.
Right?
That's a lot. That's a lot of companies.
Yeah.
That's Microsoft, that's Sony.
Nintendo.
Everybody's.
Nintendo. All right, so let's focus on
Oh,
some
did
of-
you guys hear about that? So speaking of paying for games at not full price, did you hear about that guy who was like the Days Gone guy?
Oh.
He was talking about how mad he did that interview talking about how mad he was about them not getting a sequel, and he was like, if people people want to support us or whatever, buy a game at full price when it comes out. But he released one of the shittiest, buggiest games to ever come out on the PS4. And he's telling people to buy his shit at full price. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's like, that's one of those things where, like, I saw all the ads and I was like, what the fuck is this game? Because, like, by the time I saw the ads, the game was out, right? It was like, Days Gone, out now. And I'm just like, okay, cool, but, like, no hype for this game. Why are you buying up so much real estate? Yeah.
From what I've heard, it's basically Last of Us with a dude on a motorcycle, but shittier.
Yeah, like, I had assumed that it was some kind of sequel to, like, Ride to Hell Retribution. Like,
that's exactly what it looks like.
The videos I've seen of it, like, I watched, I watched like a couple, like, playthroughs of it just to kind of get a feeling of what it is, because people kept telling me, nah, man, it's actually good, it's actually a really good game, but, like, literally everything I saw of it, it just looked like complete shit. It just looked like a buggy mess. It looked like it was boring as fuck. The enemies sucked. The gameplay sucked. You can just get randomly attacked by bears and shit. It did not look fun at all. It just, I don't know.
if I wanted to get fucked by random stuff, I'd just wake up and, like, you know, be part of life.
It did not look good, and I don't even know what the fuck. Of course, like, what was this guy thinking? Of course they weren't gonna want a sequel to this shit, and he's sitting here blaming us. Fuck off, buddy.
I think, okay.
He needs to put out a game that's worth $60.
I agree.
Maybe then somebody will buy that shit at $60 at release.
I agree. But also, what is it with all these games, like, doing this style that straight up just rips off Brutal Legend? And why is it 7 years too late? You know?
Because, probably because there was something about that style that's just, somebody realized, like, you know what, this is actually just easy to make.
Yeah, I assume that's it. But, like, fucking, like, Red Hell Retribution and Days Gone both do this style, and both are just shitty games. And, like, not like Brutal Legend was a fucking masterpiece, but it's better than that. You know? Like,
I can't wait for the fucking Ghost Rider game that's gonna come out and be exactly like this shit.
it seems like if you add motorcycles into games that aren't racing games, it's just a recipe for disaster.
It's good in FF7
and Grand Theft Auto.
GTA.
Yeah, exactly.
It sucks ass in No More Heroes. It's like the worst part of that game. Where's that No More
GTA
Heroes?
might as well be a racing game at this point, though.
It's like half racing game, half murder simulator. And
Yeah.
you know, that's exactly how I like my racing games.
They should just make a Sims like GTA game that you can walk around in. You know, just something where you can make the city yourself and then walk around and fuck it up.
They should make a Sims Assassin's Creed Mirror's Edge GTA.
All right, fucking fanboy, calm down.
I just want to run up walls in an open world universe.
I do think that'd be cool, but
Too bad
Like-
Assassin's Creed is a dead series.
I mean, not really, but
It's not, but it might as well
It's
be.
dead.
I mean,
for me.
Valhalla didn't sell that well, right?
I'm not sure.
it's
I saw
dead
a bunch
to
of
me.
I saw a bunch of hype for it, but as far as I'm concerned, Assassin's Creed is not Assassin's Creed. It's like a completely different series now. The combat is so radically different, the gameplay is so radically different. It's like they must not be the same thing.
Okay, well, I fucking lied. Valhalla was apparently the best fucking series release in its history.
Jesus.
Which is weird because
Hype
like
does
all,
Dead to me.
all of the
Hype
hype, that
does
I,
that though. Hype
Well,
does
the
that
thing is,
'cause,
like, all the hype that I saw
Cyberpunk
for the
sold that
game
well,
was like
too.
not that good. You know?
Right, yeah, everything I saw was like the game was mediocre, just plain bad. But it's like Cyberpunk was the same way. Cyberpunk, they just released that they like shattered records. You know, it was like the number one selling game of 2020 or some crazy shit.
Yeah, but like CD Projekt Red had also been like, we're trying to give you the best experience possible, and then like released it, and everyone's like, oh, it's the best experience possible, and they realized they couldn't run it. Like,
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Man, yeah, I missed, like, I like the new Assassin's Creed combat, but it feels very much like they were hopping on the, like, God of War trend, you know?
I think they should have just made a fucking original game. That like it was so like it's so different from Assassin's Creed, just kind of classic Assassin's Creed. That's like just make something else. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like an evolution. It just feels like a sidestep.
It feels like you fucking changed shit, like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
It's not, 'cause it's not like the evolution of like Dark Souls to all the way to Dark Souls 3, you know. it's like you didn't make the combat, you know, more fun. It didn't feel like a better version of the old combat. It just feels like, hey, we just decided to fucking jump on this bandwagon because people were getting tired of the old combat or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. I think if they wanted to make it more, like, if they wanted to make the game more exciting, just go back to fucking Assassin's Creed 1, where you couldn't fight with the hidden blade. You only had to counter people. Like,
Yeah.
you know how tense that shit was?
Like, because I think that's in, when I was playing, like 4 Black Flag, and I could attack with the fucking hidden blade just like in general combat, I was like, that sucks. Why would I ever do that?
Yeah.
It just didn't feel good to use.
Well, it's like, I think they introduced it
Weird.
too. But, like, it was cool, because it was like, oh, that's innovative, and, like, you can, like, but, like, there's no downside to not using the hidden blade then. Because you can attack with it, and also, it insta-kills anyone. So it's like, why would I ever use anything else? At least, like,
Yeah.
in Assassin's Creed 1, you had the option of, like, all the weapons had different counter timings, and on top of that, you could only fight with, I mean, I guess you could fight with your hands, but, like, fuck your hands. Like,
Right.
you could fight with the sword, which had a bigger counter timing and did less counter damage, or you could fight with the dagger and throwing knives combo, which had a smaller counter time, did slightly more damage, or you could fight with the hidden blade, which is counter central, but you can't attack back. So,
Yeah. And then in the later games, you just got gun, and gun ruined all the fun for me.
I don't know, I fucking love the gun.
I hated the gun because gun was just gun.
I liked it in Assassin's Creed 2 when they didn't have guns. When your opponents didn't have guns.
So I hate guns in my medieval. I hate it.
I mean, at least it was the right time period.
I like.
It was the right time
I
period. Yes.
actually
but-
like guns in like the medieval kind of. I like guns in the medieval era just because it adds like a wrinkle into the combat. You know,
Now,
just-
like, if it's like you get one shot and then you have to like do the whole reloading process and then then you get the
yeah,
then I like
motherfucker,
it.
like knights with like M16s and shit. Nah, I'm not trying
Like
to do that
I
shit.
just don't want someone to have a revolver. Like the fact that you could be like in the medieval times with a revolver, you get
Okay,
6 shots off, kill
okay,
6.
but imagine like an ancient medieval revolver though. How fucking rad would that be?
You know, okay.
can't, like-
So the thing about it is, gameplay wise, I don't want to not use the thing that's going to kill someone in one shot. This is the same problem
Yeah,
with the assassin.
right. It's too optimal in a
It's like
situation.
there's
like
no
that.
reason. There's no reason I'm not gonna use gun.
Yeah, it's like, well, I could distract him and maybe throw a rock at him and then jump down and stab him in the back, but I could also just shoot him from up here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do
And
that.
then I'm just gonna hide in this little barrel that's right next to
Right,
me.
exactly. And then
And then I'm gonna kill the person who comes up to look at it, and then I'm gonna shoot the next person.
and then I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the danger to go away, and then I'm just gonna continue with the quest.
Because it reduces the problem solving to that.
Yeah.
It is also the absolute, maybe not the gun in particular, but the one-shot ranged weapon in games like in like the old Assassin's Creeds
Yeah.
make the end of a fight, like, especially because there's like an achievement in the original Assassin's Creed, I think, for fighting for 20 minutes or like fighting 50 guards.
I think it's piling up 50 guards in one combat.
Yeah,
Without like the thing going down.
yeah, and so like it's something like that essentially.
Yeah.
But like getting that kind of fight where you're like on your last bit of health, it's 49 motherfuckers later, and the guy's like starting to run away, and you just like look at him and you like fucking hidden blade gun him or like throw a throwing knife at him. Like, that is the coolest
Yeah.
shit ever. You feel so
is pretty
vindicated.
It's pretty nice.
But you should like, but that's the kind of thing you should like earn after a while. You know, you should like build up and then go click. All right, you've got enough of a charge. But instead, it's like just a reload.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. We definitely side
Well, hold on,
tangent
one
that
last
shit.
thing. That's why I think they should do like a futuristic Assassin's Creed, because then you'll go up against enemies who could probably just dodge bullets just like you can or some crazy shit. You have so much more room to go instead of just being like, all right, swords and knives and shit for the fucking 19th time.
Yeah. Again, fucking Watch Dogs.
You're right. Yeah,
They tried.
they tried.
And somehow they got a sequel. Moving on.
They got 2 sequels.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Legions or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Has that come out? I don't
Yeah,
think
it came
has.
out. It came out.
Did it? Oh, guess
Yeah.
it sucked.
Yeah, that was a funny thing. Like, there was a shit ton of like hype and fucking nothing. Just absolutely nothing.
It's crazy how many games are like that though, where there's so much hype for them and then you just don't hear about them and then you forget about them. It's like, well, what was the point then?
Wait, did it not come out? Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Let's move on to the Nintendo Labo shit.
It looks like Nintendo Labo might be dead.
Although there is an update to the article that says that it is not yet.
Dying.
Dying, yeah, because it didn't exactly do great, and yeah, it's just another. So this is a Tech Raptor article about how they. Oh yeah, the site was taken down or whatever, but I'm pretty sure they're probably just updating or whatever.
They might be coming out with an expansion or something, so
probably.
they're just trying to change it up.
Yeah, the Labo is like a fucking just another one of those peripherals that they make that, you know, hit or miss.
Guess they
It's
never
kind of
missed.
been a
Yeah.
It's kind of just been a miss.
It was cool. It was cool for the gimmick at first.
Right. It's a cool like idea, but it
I think if you have kids, it might be more fun.
right. Yeah. It's like that. It's like that fucking that Mario Kart toy thing that has like the camera on or whatever that you can hook up to your Switch.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, the kids
That
will
game's
probably love
also
that
kind of
shit.
cool. That game's also kind of cool. Like it's that one I feel like transcends kids a little bit at least because it's just RC cars, which are always fascinating, and then you get to build your own map and play a video game.
I watched a Linus Tech Tips video on that, and like they was like, yeah, there's a lot of limitations with the software, but like if someone could crack that and like make it, you know, like remove a lot of the limitations of like going up and down and that kind of shit, like that would
Then
be
Nintendo
so
would cease and
cool.
desist them.
Well, yeah, but like in a perfect world where Nintendo wasn't a bunch of fucking cunts, like it'd be so cool, you know.
Yeah.
It would actually be really cool.
Anyway, so Nintendo Labo
Have-
is
have
not
you-
quite
well-
out yet.
Not quite dead.
Have you guys
but
seen?
Maybe. What's up?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen drone racing?
No.
No.
So just imagine the Nintendo Mario Kart thing, but with drones that fly at high speeds, going and doing aerial combat while going through a course.
The dog fighting is more interesting to me than the racing.
That's based. There's
would-
there's dog fighting versions, but then there's also the racing versions. The racing versions are cool because they'll what's it called? They'll pull some Star Wars stuff where like they'll spin sideways right between these two little paper sheets, and if they hit the paper sheet, the drone just basically crashes. So they have to perfectly like go through the sections in order to make it.
They should have like other drones racing around with them to like get like a third
Shooting
person
them.
shot of the action.
They do.
Just like, oh, well, do they? That's rad.
Yeah, I'll find one real quick.
Oh, but I bet it's not gonna be like. Is it like up close and personal? Is it like like shots in like movies and shit? Probably not.
Maybe not that close. I'm trying to see if I can find one with like the camera that's following the racing.
When the fuck ever was this robot shit with the Nintendo Labo?
That was like the first thing they came out with.
Was it? That's weird.
But
Yeah.
that
No, this
robot's
was not the
just
first one
en-
they came out with.
Okay, I was gonna say the robot though is just the in-game model. You don't get to
Of
build
course,
a robot and put
obviously,
it on
yeah.
and put it on you.
I was just wondering, like, you mean Nintendo put out a fucking boxing robot game and nobody talked about it?
I mean, yeah, ARMS, bro.
That's true. When people liked ARMS,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just,
Smash.
it fucking died, I guess. Like, there was something that happened.
Well, Nintendo just stopped fucking supporting it after a while, and then the game just kind of they didn't really make it any better. I think they released a couple DLC characters, and then it just kind of faded out because people stopped playing it because it just wasn't really all that good.
Yeah, I think that's the main issue. Dude, you know what game I want to see
But-
have a resurgence? Fucking
that?
Pokken Fighter.
Oh yeah, because they put it out on the Switch, so I thought that was gonna lead to something else. But I thought that would lead to like DLC or something, but it never really went anywhere.
Yeah, well, it's also Nintendo, so.
That's true, yeah. I mean, Nintendo does DLC sometimes.
No, I just mean like you can't really have like if I was gonna get into any fighting game, it would either be Power Rangers or fucking Pokken. Because what's better than a bunch of Pokemon beating the fuck out of each other? Like, so, but like I couldn't be like, yeah, I'm gonna get into it because like you know that there's not gonna be any fucking top tournaments for that shit because Nintendo's not gonna allow that shit.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a very good competitive scene. It's probably just gonna be a bunch of children, really.
Yeah, and like I like beating up on kids, but like not that much.
I was literally about to say, as fun as beating up on children is, can't do it all day. Anyway, oh yeah, this is that drone video.
Yeah, so that one was just the basic, like just a basic course type thing. Here we go. Here's a better one.
Well, while he's doing that, so we mentioned Amazon earlier. So they just canceled their Lord of the Rings MMO.
Yeah. Fucking.
Obviously,
Why?
Man, it sure would have been fun to play Lord of the Rings as my own unique character. I would have loved going on adventures and eventually potentially fighting the Dark Lord Sauron himself. But unfortunately, Amazon had other plans. So apparently, contract negotiations between Amazon and Tencent were said to have caused a dispute that eventually led to the game's cancellation. So they just couldn't come to terms with Tencent about making the game, so it's not going forward. Good
Which
job,
game?
Amazon.
which game though? I missed the name.
The Lord of the Rings MMO.
Gotcha. That sucks.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings really needs something that isn't like a kind of, you know, because what's that game series called that came out? Well, I guess there's only two of them.
The fun one was the Twin Tower ones for me.
Oh, what's it fucking called? The one where like you have like the ghost and shit and
The Muso game.
Oh, that's Shadow War.
yeah. So
Oh, yeah, there's Shadow War and then there's the PS2 Muso game.
so those are fine, but what Lord of the Rings really needs is something that kind of like a slower thing that kind of matches the pace of Lord of the Rings, which an MMO would have been perfect for.
Yeah.
You know, something that kind of lets you slow down and focus on the lore a little bit more. But we're not getting that because, you know, corporations can't agree on shit, which is unfortunate.
You can't get along.
But it's probably just another. It's just another. It's weird because they have like a TV series, and there's a Gollum video game coming out too. Which so I'm like, why couldn't they? You know, what was the deal there? Why couldn't they come to a decision there on it? Why were they able to do the decision there but not anywhere else? But whatever. You know, it's just. I don't know. Lord of the Rings, maybe they should just stop making video games for Lord of the Rings and just make it like a long-ass TV series.
I mean, maybe it's just fucking stop. Like,
they just fucking stop.
Yeah.
That's true as well. Yeah.
it's not like I hate Lord of the Rings, but like,
It's an old-ass series, and it's kind of been outdone by a million other things at this point.
well, and like,
Yeah.
fucking, you already have 6 movies and like a bunch of really good games on like
Yeah.
the PS2. Like, just fucking remaster those, take your fucking free paycheck, and then fuck off, do something else.
You know what? Ultimately, though, I think the problem with trying to make like a fucking Lord of the Rings video game is that there are so many fantasy games that have taken like what Lord of the Rings kind of started or whatever, and then just expanded it in such a way that makes Lord of the Rings look quaint in comparison. It's like, oh, they went on a walk and dropped the thing in the fucking in the volcano. Well, in Demon Souls, I fucking undid the fabric of the universe and killed everybody on Earth. So.
But also in Demon Souls, you went on a quaint little walk and met some old dude and
died a shit ton of times.
Because like Demon Souls took the time to get there, right? Lord of the Rings just kind of never gets there. It just kind of goes, boop. All right, time to go back home. Do 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 do. You know, it's
the walk home should have been a journey as well.
Well, it's kind of one of those things that like I get what you're saying, but it's very much like Dark Souls. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. Demon Souls / Dark Souls was always meant to be a game, right?
Yeah.
And
these were books that were
books written in the fucking like early 1900s, right? When the fuck was Lord of the Rings written?
I want to say like the 10s and 20s. I want to say.
I want the.
Or am I thinking of fucking the goddamn
50s apparently.
50s, Jesus. I must be thinking of the what are they called?
Chronicles of Narnia?
Book. No, the Wizard of Oz books. There are like 30 of those fucking books. But yeah, like Lord of the Rings is so fucking old. Like that and the Silmarillion, which is like basically the lore of the whole universe. Those shits are so old. It's like, all right, we don't need to keep going back to that stuff.
Yeah,
it was interesting back then, but
well, it's like it's just not. It's not enough information for a video game.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Like as much as people want to be like, movies are whatever. Video games take more time and more information to just make anything out of them.
Yeah.
Because if you just make it fucking like shitty filler, people are gonna realize and be like, "Oh, this is a bunch of shitty filler," and not play it.
Like you can't put the same amount of information that you would put in a movie in a game. Like it's not enough.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be sparse at best.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
yeah.
especially like these Lord of the Rings movies, which were like 2 hours of it is literally just them traveling around, not really doing
It's
much.
just shots. Although, like Skyrim had a lot of that kind of stuff, but also Skyrim had like a bunch of random characters you could just talk to.
And again, Skyrim is another game that took the Lord of the Rings formula and basically perfected it to the point where who the fuck needs Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
You're killing a dragon instead of dropping a ring in the fire, but yeah, same thing. Like,
but there's also more interesting things in Skyrim than there is in Lord of the Rings.
well, I think you brought up a good point.
Oh, go ahead.
Cause where, yeah, like you can just talk to random people. There's a lot, like that's the kind of shit I'm talking about, where it's like your character talking to themselves or like passersby saying shit. Like, how many games are boring not because the gameplay is boring, but because there's like the world doesn't feel lived in, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you need a lot of extra just like shit like that where there's random stuff fucking happening.
There's a lot more to do in a corridor that's filled with stuff to look at and read and learn about than an open world that has a shack that has nothing in it and a quest giver who's not going to talk to you.
Right.
Yeah. Even if it's like something small like text boxes, like look at fucking Breath of the Wild, you know? Like,
look at Disco Elysium.
Oh man, look at Disco Elysium.
no, that's a good game. Let's look at Breath of the Wild.
All right.
I'm gonna get some hate for that one, but no, I like Breath of the Wild. But like, there's only like vocal cutscenes, like voiced cutscenes for like story stuff. Everything else is just text boxes. But there's a fuck ton of text boxes. Like everyone you meet has text boxes. You know, like you just don't have that kind of information in a book because you don't have the time. Either you're like,
has so much ridiculous information in it that's like, I'm not gonna remember this shit at all.
yeah, exactly. Moving on. Sony will continue to keep their PS3 and PS Vita stores open, which I think is a great move.
Everybody
Smart.
yelled at Sony enough to where Sony was like, fine, okay, shit.
Like, I don't...
But what's still gonna die though, the other store.
PSP.
PSP.
Yeah, PSP store still gonna die. That one is probably
understandable considering they stopped producing them in like 2011.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably pure vindication as well. They hate the fucking PSP, I think.
Well, it's like
Sony.
the PS Vita can play PSP games, so like fuck it.
Can we talk about how fucking annoying and arrogant and ridiculous it was that they created the Universal Media Disc, a disc that could only be played by the fucking PSP.
Yeah.
Universal, it's fucking stupid.
Well, like I like the idea of, I think what they meant by that was like movies and games could be on it, but like
Still, it's just retarded. Name it something else.
Yeah.
Multimedia disc or something.
It's a nut you can play outside?
Those ads are the only like good thing to come out of the PSP era.
Those
Well,
ads were
and
pretty,
Final Fantasy
pretty
Crisis
good.
Core.
Oh yeah.
I said good thing.
Like I said. Excuse me, motherfucker. Well, I'm right.
Look, man, I like Crisis Core, but I'm not sure it's good.
Anyway,
It's okay.
so they're continuing.
The PS3
Yeah.
and PS Vita stores,
Yeah, they're gonna keep going because
which is smart. I
everybody
think that
was
a-
everybody was so mad at them that they were like, okay, we'll keep them around. But this still doesn't really solve the greater problem of preservation of this shit, because eventually
Yeah.
these things will go away. So, like,
You know what?
something needs to
I'd
be
be-
done.
It's okay if they shut them down after they move everything over to a single store, and you
Yeah.
can still access that store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they just were to transfer it all to one store and then made the PS3s like one last like software update where they can access the new store.
Yeah. Like I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did you
like,
also see that they're working on the C-bomb problem in PS4s, PS5s?
What is this? Are they calling people
The
guns?
C bomb is the clock bomb.
The clock, basically the battery, the clock battery or whatever. When the battery goes out, the clock doesn't work
yes.
anymore. So all your games don't work anymore
Right. Okay.
because they all have to be verified through the clock or whatever. So they're trying to figure out a way to fix that because people were complaining about that too. Which that's really really shitty.
You'd think that much like any other fucking system that ran on a clock, like you could just replace the battery. But I know it's not that simple.
Yeah,
Sadly.
But
'cause they make it that hard. You know,
Yeah.
they don't want you to get into the machine.
like
want you
I get it,
tampering.
but at the same time, the fuck. Like, what was I gonna say?
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I'm just glad because like there's a bunch of like I said whenever we fucking covered this last time, there's a bunch of Vita developers that are still going strong because apparently like the fucking like dating sim market is huge on the PS Vita. So
Really?
yeah, it's like huge
Yeah,
in
it's
Japan.
a nice place to hide.
Well, I guess it's because
That
like
makes sense.
it's very mobile and like I'm sure it's a lot less costly to develop on a PS Vita than it is for like a
Right? Yeah.
Switch or something. And I guess like yeah, Nintendo doesn't really have like a handheld console anymore. You know?
I mean, the Switch is the handheld.
Yeah.
They just don't- it's just not separate from the home console, though. Now it's just all one thing.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you use it. Because think the Switch Lite is fully
Just a handheld. Yeah, but I was thinking like
Yeah.
specifically like the separation of them.
Right. Yeah.
Well, plus I think PlayStation has kind of traditionally been more of the dating sim kind of console anyway.
Place
So-
to go. Yeah.
So.
Which is weird considering their weird hang-ups about sexual shit.
Yeah.
Moving on. I'm glad that this is like this. I still need to buy a bunch of Persona games. So
Yep.
speaking of
Yeah,
Persona
I
games,
still need to get a digital copy of MGS3.
yeah.
I keep meaning to get that, but I don't know why I don't. Speaking of Persona,
Shin Megami Tensei the third one is getting a re-release in HD.
Yes.
Uh, more importantly than that bullshit,
It comes with a free sticker.
you now get the featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series sticker in HD.
Hell yeah.
You know
I've already
what?
bookmarked it.
As far as I'm concerned, this makes up for all the bullshit Sony's done recently. Thanks, Sony.
I will say,
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry.
I do want to play this because I never got a chance to play when it originally came out.
Yeah, me too. I was a little bit too young. I will say, I hope they bring over Shin Megami Tensei. No, it's Persona 2, the one where you fight Hitler. Like, I want a release of that on like a main console.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
But-
that's the one you play as what's his name? Raizo Kuzunoha, or whatever.
No, that's this one. That's Shin Megami Tensei 3.
Is it this?
Yeah, it's this one.
It 3?
Sure? Oh wait, no, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
You play the Demi Fiend in this one, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was reading the article wrong. But yeah, no, like I wanna play the game that you fight as Hitler, or you fight against Hitler. I don't want to fight as Hitler. That'd be bad.
Do you imagine the game where you team up with Hitler and then you're like, and it's like, and it's the game is totally like, nah, Hitler's a cool guy. This is the right decision.
I mean, that's basically the plot of Singularity, I think.
Well, let's not forget how in JoJo Part 2 they literally team up with the Nazis to defeat a bunch of super vampires.
You know, out of those two, sometimes one is the better option.
And then the guy who's basically the Nazi like protagonist guy, he's like the main one of the main Joe Bros. They talk about how he then died heroically during World War II.
Okay, well, maybe Japan isn't as modern as I thought. Moving on. Okay, so I'm excited for Megami Tensei 3
Me
because
too. I'm ready. I've heard the rumors for years. I've seen the Dante from Devil May Cry meme. I've just never got a chance to sink my teeth into it. So
the fact that they are doing this is the smartest marketing decision they could ever make.
Right, seriously, play into the memes. Do it.
Well, plus
You will
there
sell
is
more
a
copies.
they have the what's it called? The like image, and they're just like, yeah, here's the image. Like they know what the fuck they're doing. This is a smart fucking company. They're like, this is gonna get us fucking newsworthy.
They're literally saying like, slap it on anything you want. Like, yeah.
I'm putting this on my goddamn guitar. Like, yeah. So this is cool. I can't wait to see it. Apparently, it's coming out May 25th. So I hope that there's a
can't
PC
wait.
release though.
I can't wait to hear all the reasons why this is a shitty, terrible remaster from all the people who usually say that shit about
Yeah.
everything.
They do say that about a lot of things.
And finally, one of our last pieces of news: Discord does not sell its soul to Microsoft.
Yep, Discord decides, nah, we're doing well independently, so we'll just stick to our guns and stay independent for now.
You know what? It works.
Yeah.
I have no problems with it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, well, sure.
I as long as it's profitable enough, then I say YOLO. Like
Yep.
stay
But
as
again,
independent as possible.
I still do hope they start changing some of their interfacing shit. Like, I don't want to be memed at every time I fucking open Discord, please. I don't need to see that dumb shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd rather be memed at by someone who appreciates memes than like some corporate shill whose job it is to write memes. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
like it's still
But,
there's
I
still
mean,
a corporate shill.
Have you
but-
seen those memes? I was about to say, yeah. Have you seen the level of garbage memes?
degeneracy.
Yeah, but
It's,
like
it's
Discord-
clearly some like person who knows that they're shitty and they're being paid to make them, but they don't want to think about the shit. So they're
okay,
just
yes, but
say
there's like a
whatever.
level between like, dude is obviously in the culture and has to make memes versus like some dude at Microsoft getting paid like less than $18 an hour to do this shit and is not in the culture at all. Like I'd rather have someone be in the culture and like bastardizing it than not in the culture and bastardizing it.
But I mean, it's not like EA trying to buy these motherfuckers. It's Microsoft. They're not. It's not like they don't understand. You know.
I mean, recently yes, but like, come on, man.
I'm not saying
all
they
I-
do everything perfectly. I feel like I would just prefer some sort of professionalism, I guess, over having like brain cells shaved off my, you know.
I feel like
You only need 2 brain cells, bro. It's fine.
look. The only thing I care, like, I don't care about when it opens up if it wants to be memeing at you. That's fine, as long as I don't get like a professional email from them memeing at you.
That's what I mean.
That,
Like,
yeah.
like I would rather it just be like, you know,
Like,
a
when
normal
I
service.
have troubleshooting, when I'm troubleshooting or having issues, I don't want to be memed at. But
Like,
just
yeah.
opening it up, it's fine.
I don't mind a little casual chat in the thing, you know, a little casual like the way it's typed or whatever. That's fine, but it gets to a point where I'm like, okay,
It's too much.
I'm getting tired of this shit.
It's too much.
I don't need like to stop trying to make jokes at me. You don't need to be funny all the fucking time.
I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm so used to, like, I use, like, TeamSpeak, Grade Call, Skype, like, all of the, like, main ones from, like, 10 years ago that were all just the same fucking Windows 95 looking windows of just, like, this is your server, and it looks like shit. And then Discord came in, and it was, like, it had a personality. Dude, I like that shit.
Discord came in and said, "Have you heard of MySpace?"
Yeah. Discord came in and was like, "Yo, we're doing the exact same shit, but it looks better." And I'm just like, "Fuck, all right, I'm in." Like,
and it works like Skype.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
have you heard of MySpace? It works like Skype now.
yeah, it's like
We're good to
fuck,
go.
man. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's not a good service, right? I just would rather be the fucking shit I'm looking at, and the interaction between me and the company to be a little more like, you know, a person using a service and a person providing a service.
Yeah, you know, I feel that.